Hi guys, yesterday we got probably the biggest snapshot of this update. It got really huge changes for 1.20 and for 1.19.4. It took me a long time to make this video, so can you please subscribe to my channel for more snapshot news. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we want to talk about are the experimental features. Let's start with the Sniffer. First, I need to say that you can't get the Sniffer on survival because they haven't added the Sniffer egg yet. There is a chance that they will add it in the next snapshot. You can get it like every other mob and it spawns eggs. The changelog says that it's the first ancient mob, and that probably means that we will be getting more ancient mobs in the future. The Sniffer has two versions right now, big and small. The Sniffer cannot be tamed, but it's a passive and friendly mob. It likes to sniff in the air and look for seeds. It can actually find the torch flower seed. You can breed Sniffers with torch flower seed. When you plant the torch flower seed, you can get the torch flower. The full-grown flower can be harvested and replanted, but can also be crafted into orange dye. Let's go to the next big thing that got announced yesterday. It's the cherry biome. The cherry biome is really called the cherry groove. It has some cherry trees that produce some small particles that looks really cool too. There are two main animals that spawn here, and that's bees and bunnies. But let's first talk about the wood. We got the first leaves in Minecraft that aren't mostly green. They look light pink and gives the biome a good atmosphere. The wood texture looks pink and brown on the outside. Let me show you all the things you can make from the wood. Okay, so now let's go to the new flower added in this snapshot. As in fun fact, I want to say that those flowers were supposed to be added in the birch forest in the 1.19 update. Those are the pink petals. The cool thing with them is that you can stack them 4 times. They will be just more and more flowers on the ground. Let's go to the last 1.20 feature, and it's archaeology. This one has been actually really confusing for some people. So first, start with the brush. The brush will help you dig out many new items that we will talk about later. You can make it with 2 sticks and 3 strings. Let's get to the new block. Suspicious sand. You can find it in the desert only in 2 structures. And it's the desert temple and the water well. It's easy to find suspicious sand in water wells. You just need to look inside of it, and you can find from 2 to 3 suspicious sand blocks. In the desert temple it's a little different. You need to find some random blocks of sand and dig them. Then you will find sandstone stairs in the mining place. There you will find many sand blocks, and you need to look at them good because some of them are suspicious sand. Let's talk about the pottery shards. You can get them from digging suspicious sand. There are only 4 pottery shards: the archer pottery shard, the prize pottery shard, the arms up pottery shard, and the skull pottery shard. These are decorations for your decorative pot. Let's talk about it. The decorative pot can be crafted by 4 bricks placed like this. But when you use only bricks it will look empty. But you can decorate it with pottery shards. If you replace the bricks in the crafting table with the pottery shards, it will have the symbols on it. Some of them can still be empty. Now let's go to the more boring but still interesting features added. I won't show them on screen so you can watch this gameplay. Let's say them and talk about them more later. Jukeboxes have changed to be at parity with Bedrock. Horse breeding has been updated. Updated the realm screen to be more in line with the single player and multiplayer screens. Recipe unlocking. The crafting table recipe is unlocked immediately on creating a new world. The crossbow recipe is no longer unlocked by sticks. The soul campfire recipe is no longer unlocked by sticks. Jukebox changes. While playing a music disc, it will emit a redstone signal of 15. Droppers and hoppers can now interact with it. Horse changes. When breeding horses and the like, the baby's speed, jump height and health are no longer biased toward the average. This change is intended to make horse breeding a viable way of getting great horses, if a player starts with good parents and puts in enough time and golden carrots. Some technical changes. The vanilla resource pack n_s language file is now sorted alphanumerically by key. A new recipe serializer crafting_decorated_pot has been added for the new decorated pot recipe. Added show_notification field to recipes. Accepts a boolean which determines if a notification is shown when unlocking this recipe. Defaults to true if isn't specified. Interaction entities. New type of entity that records attacks, left clicks, and interactions, right clicks and quad. Interactions are invisible and of a custom size. Fields. Width of the entity's bounding box, default 1. Height of the entity's bounding box, default 1. Attack, records the last attack action on the entity. Interaction, records the last interaction action on the entity. Response, boolean specifying if interacting should trigger a response, arm swing, sound effects, etc. Default false. Action format, when an action is stored, It always has two fields, player, the UUID, in standard integer array format, of the player performing the action. Timestamp, the timestamp of the game tick when the event happened, stored as a long, advancement triggers. Interacting with an interaction entity triggers. Player underscore interacted underscore with underscore entity. Attacking an interaction entity triggers. Player underscore hurt underscore entity. Execute on with interactions. The interaction entity targets the player who last interacted with it. That makes the following possible. Execute on attacker. Execute is the last player who attacked the entity. Execute on target. Execute is the last player who interacted with the entity. Fixed bugs in Snapshot 23W07A. Here are the bugs that got fixed. Horse breeding never exceeds egg/spawn horse attributes. Server shows as old in the server list while starting. Resource packs. Ambient occlusion flag only respects topmost parent. Drowned animation glitch. Removing a jukebox with a command while it's playing a music disc won't stop playing the music disc. Elytra model stutters by flying and turning. Sitting cats sink in water. Memory leakage problem in native operations. Minecraft forest underscore rock feature does not work correctly when used with /place. Baby camels can enter boats despite adult camels not being able to. Allays sometimes have a several second delay before deciding to follow the player. Resource pack won't load if it contains reference to non-existing particles. Invalid forced resource pack can cause infinite reload loop on client. Player is kicked from a server for flying in death screen when dying on a horse or camel. The title screen warning menu doesn't disappear after the player respawns. Invalid translation of translation key equals narration. Suggestion in command block GUI. Opening a lectern on adventure mode and closing it causes inventory desyncs. Advancement trigger player underscore interacted underscore with underscore entity doesn't work with area underscore effect underscore cloud entity when used glass underscore bottle item on it. Opening the crafting recipe book selects the recipe that appears under the mouse cursor. Onboarding isn't resumed after restarting Minecraft. The game crashes when navigating with arrow keys after changing key binds. Turtles can spawn inside each other causing them to get stuck and play constant sounds. Experimental disabled items can still be suggested as fuel by the recipe book. Blast protection does not reduce explosion knockback in creative game mode. Capes occasionally jitter when moving and adjusting your rotation. Drown that are swimming render outside of their hitboxes when looking up or down. Falling block can appear in death messages. Creeper does not flash white and expand before exploding. Z fighting occurs on the bottom of boots. Players cannot dismount when riding item underscore display, block underscore display and text underscore display using the ride command. Allay wing animation skips frames/loops incorrectly as of 23W06A. Odd behavior when an item underscore display, block underscore display, or text underscore display entity mounts another entity. Z fighting on the text of text displays. Entities mounted on display entities do not visually update until after resync. That's everything for this video. Comment the word Sniffer to show that you have watched this video. Bye.